Motherhood is often painted in soft pastels, light moments, endless joy, Instagrammable photos. But for those of us in the thick of it, we know that the reality is different. It is loud, it is messy, and it's complex. It's a journey of profound joy and happiness, yes, but at the same time, it can be filled with exhaustion, identity shifts, breakdowns, and so on. And most times, mothers are told how they should feel instead of what they actually feel, because our society can be quite judgmental. And when mothers complain about their struggles or what they are going through, most times they get shut up with, oh, you should be grateful you're a mother, or oh, you're a terrible mother if you feel this way. So most people would rather just keep quiet. And that is exactly why I am starting series Motherhood Unfiltered. The intention is to draw a curtain behind the scenes of motherhood, to share the struggles, the quiet victories, the good moments, the bad moments, to try to articulate things that we feel and have a hard time talking about. So this is a judgment-free zone. I'm just sharing my experience. Hopefully, those that are not yet mothers can actually see the hard work and decide if this is a path they still want to work on. And those that are mothers also know that, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. I'm not going local. This is normal. Other moms feel this way. And at the end of the day, I want to build a community, safe space for mothers to express themselves and know that they are not alone and they have people that understand what they really feel. Hi, my name is Oriako, and welcome to the very first episode of Motherhood Unfiltered. To those joining me for the first time, so glad you're here. And to my returning subscribers, thank you for being a part of this journey right from my pregnancy up till now. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. And today's topic is going to be a very important topic in motherhood. It's about breastfeeding. Okay, but before I open up this conversation, I have to give an important disclaimer. I am not a healthcare professional. I'm not a lactation consultant or a medical expert. I'm just a young mother sharing her lived experience and hoping that other people will learn or have an insight into what breastfeeding is all about. Please consult with your doctor, midwife, or medical expert if you have any questions, any concerns about your baby's well-being or your mental health. Okay, this community is intended for information sharing and supportive purposes. So if you're in need of help, medical help, please don't hesitate to reach out to your consultant. Now, before I dive into the how-tos and the specific hurdles in my breastfeeding journey, I'd like to address the elephant in the room. In the world of parenting, there's been a lot of discussions about how babies are nourished. And from a medical standpoint, it's always been breast is best. But I would like to say this right here and now that formula is not a failure. Whether you're breastfeeding or you are feeding your baby formula, it doesn't make you less of a mother or reduce your worth or value as a mother. We are all mothers with different bodies, mindsets, mental health, circumstances. At the end of the day, the most important thing is for the baby to be fed. A baby that is fed, happy, thriving, and maintaining expected weight is the most important thing. So I would rather a mom that is happy, empowered, and healthy, feeding the baby the best way she can than having a tired mom with constant mental breakdown because, oh, breast is best. I have to breastfeed. So this discussion is not to shame or make any mom feel bad. This discussion is just to talk about my experience and things that helped me in the journey and because I'm still breastfeeding. I have a 4 months old. I'm breastfeeding, so that we'll talk about all the things I'm going through. After giving birth, I was so exhausted. I just wanted to sleep. I was so sleepy. I just didn't want to do anything, and the nurses allowed me to rest, and because the baby was sleepy. The baby was quite sleepy, so I was allowed to rest. Afterwards, I was encouraged to breastfeed, which wasn't going so well for me because when I tried to breastfeed, I don't know, I had IVs in my arm, so I had a difficult time holding up the baby to breastfeed. So I was encouraged to pump. I was given a hand pump by the lactation consultant. I was able to pump. I pumped my first breast milk, which is colostrum, very thick and deep yellow. I think I pumped only once at the hospital because I was told at that point that babies' tummies were like the size of a grape. I don't need to produce so much. All they needed was for baby to eat within the, I think, 24, 48 hours, so that, yeah, within 24 hours, so that they can have their first poo. And I was told the colostrum was really packed with everything that baby need. And that was it. That was the first time. So for me, I had no problem producing the very first milk. I know a lot of people, depending on how the childbirth, the delivery, went, that a lot of people have a hard time producing that. So don't beat yourself up if after giving birth you had a hard time producing the colostrum. It might be stress, trauma. It's a whole lot of things. Eventually, you produce the colostrum. I know those that didn't produce at the hospital, and then when they got home, they're in their zone and a bit more relaxed. They were able to produce breast milk. So the colostrum, also known as liquid gold, is really packed with all the nutrients that baby needs. And once the baby takes it, after like some hours, my baby, passed her first poo. Poo was so dark, like almost black in color. And yeah, it shows that, yeah, the milk did its job. Right from my very first feed, I was in pain. I had these stomach cramps while, breastfeeding. And my nurse and lactation consultant said that it is expected to have stomach cramps while breastfeeding, especially at the beginning stage of breastfeeding. And it felt like contractions. To me, it wasn't so painful, but I can't really say for everyone because I have high pain tolerance. But if it is very painful for you and getting really uncomfortable, please talk to your doctor, the nurse, anybody, medical consultant, expert about it, so that they can be sure that it's not something else. Yes, it's meant to be uncomfortable, but not so uncomfortable that you can't do anything else. So, survivor kits. So, we're going to start with breast pumps. It is advisable to have two breast pumps. One will be your primary pump, and the second one will be your secondary pump. So the primary pump is, higher quality, is usually connected to the power source, and while the secondary one is the one that usually, is wearable. You can wear it when you are, cooking or doing something else. It's advisable so that you always have a backup in case anyone, shuts down and all that. You have another one to, you know, pump with. Secondly, is you need the right flanges. Most breast pumps come with size 24 mm. So it is advisable to get measured to be sure that you are using the right thing. Most women use between 17 to 19 mm. So, but I don't know why most pump come with 24 mm. So just be sure you get measured. Most times hospitals will measure yours for you if you ask. Otherwise, you just have to, get the measurement stuff online. Most hospitals will have it, so you don't even need to stress and get measured. The most common number is usually 18. So if you're not so sure of the right size, go for 18. Yeah. Another thing again is I have hydrogel pads. So they are circular in shape and you put them in fridge after use. It's meant to suit your nipples after a breastfeeding session or pumping session and everywhere is hot and sore. It's meant to suit it to calm it down. So after use, I put it back in the fridge. Yeah. Another thing is I know a lot of people use breastfeeding pillow. Personally, I didn't use it that much. I use it for tummy time. I know a lot of people use their breastfeeding. I think it's because I did more pumping than actual breast, nursing the baby directly. That's why I don't really use the pregnancy pillow that much. But if you know that you're going to do more of nursing than actual pumping of the breast, you can, get that and try and see if it's convenient for you. Most times you don't need to buy the pregnancy pillow. You can use your normal house pillow, put it here and then put the baby. So everything is based on your convenience and what you can afford to buy. Another thing again you need is if you intend to pump, you need to get storage bags for extras and to put the other milk that baby will drink, which leads me to the bottles and the storage bags. So for bottles, Please buy what you can afford. When I was thinking of the bottles to buy, I saw a lot of comment about, oh, plastic bottles are bad. You know, get, please just buy whatever you can afford. I got bottles, I got glass bottles, and I got plastic bottles. And personally, plastic bottles is better for me because the glass bottles are quite heavy, and I'm always scared they are going to break. And baby can't just hold it. When I'm feeding the baby, baby's grip is very hard, and they can hold the plastic bottles themselves. But with the glass bottle, I can't take that risk. So left for me, just buy plastic bottles. And what else again? You are going to be running through a lot of bottles. Yeah, so if you can afford to buy a bottle washer, I hate washing bottles. My husband is the person that washes the bottles because for some reason, I don't like washing bottles. So if you can afford it or if you can put it in your baby registry, please do so. It is quite expensive. I was surprised. I considered putting it on my registry. Only for me to see $200. I was like, $200 for what? To wash bottles. So, but if you can afford it, please put it. It's you're going to actually use it. The next is storage bags. I was gifted some storage bags, which I've still not finished. So, if I have some extra on the days that I pump more than I need for the day, I put them up in the bags. So on the screen, I'm going to show how you're going to store your milk. You know, the amount of hours they can stay outside, amount of days they can stay in the fridge, and the amount of months they can stay in what's this thing called, in the freezer, how to store so that you don't end up wasting milk because you stored it incorrectly and they get spoiled because you're gonna cry over the spoiled milk. Yeah, you have cried over milk that I've spilled or that I've gotten bad. So please look at the screen and see the proper way to store your milk. So next thing I want to talk about is nursing bra. Got some nursing bra option because right from even before I gave birth, I don't like wearing bra. So I was like, I'm not gonna wear bra. So most times I only wear the bra, the nursing bra, when I want to use the wearable pump. Otherwise, I don't bother. I know a lot of people always wear nursing bra so that they can put the nursing parts because you leak if you don't put the nursing bra. But if I'm at home, I don't bother. I just like keep on leaking. I'd rather I leak through everywhere than to wear the nursing bra. So if you're not as messy as me, please get a lot of nursing bra. Don't be like me. You know, I don't sleep with nursing bra. It's too stressful. I'd rather wake up in cold sweats and breast milk everywhere than to wear nursing bra. Don't be like me. Please don't learn bad things from me. Wear your nursing bra. Also, if you notice that your nipples keep getting sore after pumping, you have to like check two things. First, check that the baby is latching properly, you know, because if the baby is not, if the nipple is not fully in baby's mouth, the baby is going to keep touching only the tip and it's going to chafe it. It's going to make it all dry and it's going to hot. You know, so check that the baby is latching properly. And secondly, is check that you have the right flange size. Another thing you can do is to put nipple balm on it. Nipple bar, you know, you rub it before each session. Or you can, if you have Aquaphor, the healing ointment, the one you use for babies' diapers, you know, diaper change, you can also put that. That's what I did. I didn't have to buy nipple balm. I used the Aquaphor, you know, in between sessions, pumping session, and that really helped. It is all for gear and, you know, the toolkits that you need for pumping. You don't actually need all these things if you just want to nurse directly. There are a lot of people that just decide, you know what, I'm going to nurse directly. I'm not going to pump. I'm not going to use bottles. I'm not going to do all the other extra things associated with breastfeeding. Once baby wants to feed, they just bring out their breast and feed the baby. So at the end of the day, you have to consider your circumstances. If you know that you're going to need help feeding baby, you have to pump so that other people can help you feed the baby. But if you are a stay-at-home mom or you feel like you're not going to need help, you're always going to feed the baby all the time, then yeah, you might not need to pump. I think a lot of people pump so that they can have some extra, you know, in the freezer or in the fridge, just in case, you know, at the end of the day, it is what is convenient for you. Yeah. Yeah. So now that I'm done with, you know, all this, I would like to talk about milk colors and supply. Uh, the very first milk, the colostrum, it comes in this deep yellow color and is quite thick and creamy. And afterwards, you know, when I got home, after a few pumps, the milk started being lighter, started having the color of a typical, you know, normal evaporated milk, which is very light, cream color, not so thick. And eventually, the color started alternating. There was a day I pumped milk that was like water. It was all it was very clear. And yeah, so I think the color of the milk starts changing, and I think it's because baby's needs starts changing as baby is growing, or baby needs start changing, so your body starts responding to that by changing the type of milk it produces. I've had a milk that was bluish, that had this bluish undertone, and then when my baby had rashes and all that, I noticed that the milk I was producing was lighter in color. So yeah, your milk color can change according to baby's needs. Then as for supply, when I first started pumping, I was getting more than needed. So I was able to build a little stack, but eventually I started producing just enough. So right now I'm not building any. I don't have milk stack. I think I have just two or three, milk in my freezer. So I just produce. So I produce just enough. I'm not an oversupplier. I'm not producing. So I pump a lot. I pump 4 times a day just so that baby will have enough to eat. So I'm not an oversupplier. And honestly, it messed with my head because when you go online, you see people that just pump and they have a lot of milk. You see people with freezer filled with milk, and you're like,